Howdy, partners. I don't know why I said that. We are going to do another Watch Me Work, and I'm going to do a reading with the Thoth deck. Can you believe it? It just happens to be in my hands. I've been listening to the Fortune's Wheelhouse podcast, and it's forced me to just take out and look at this deck from time to time. I hate Crowley, but I have always loved the paintings in this deck. I prefer, for example, like you've probably seen me use the Maria deck, which is the Thoth deck, which I prefer because it's more modern. But Lady Frida Harris's paintings, I've always thought were stunners, you know. And one of the reasons why I stayed away from it wasn't even Crowley; it was the keywords on it. But I don't care about that anymore. So what are we gonna do? Oh, I know the question is Joey going to come back? Or really the phrasing is, Joey's not coming back, is he? Let's do, oh gosh. I'm going to do my circle reading, right? Which starts with an arc of 5 and just becomes a circle. Why not? You've seen me do the 9-card box so many times by this point. Which edition of this Thoth deck is? Let's find out. It's this one, if you're curious. This is the only one I have. It is the AGM Urania one that I think comes from Germany or Switzerland. Anyway, this is the one. I have another one that's like a keepsake edition from US Games, which is up on the shelf and I can't reach it, which I found sort of disappointing. But I may take it down and look at it at some point because I spent the money on it. I also have their special edition of the Waite Smith. They did another one too, and I can't remember what it was or why I didn't get it. But mostly I got both of those decks just to do walkthroughs of them. So yeah, my circle spread. Todd's not coming back. No, Joey's not coming back. Is he? I am just, again, when I'm reading for a client, I'll say, look, I'm going to do the reading. I'll lay out the cards, shuffle, draw, maybe quiet as I look at what I'm seeing, talk through the reading, blah, blah, blah. So chances are you've seen me do this spiel before. I just ordered the Tabula Mundi deck, which is a Thoth deck by, I think that's the name of it. Because, again, I've been listening to their podcast. So, Princess of Discs. I mean, I really do think the paintings of this card are quite striking. So it's really beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, I loathe Aleister Crowley. But I do give him at least credit for inspiring Lady Frida Harris to make this these beautiful paintings, which are just, again, I mean, I'm looking at it now and thinking, wow, this is really, really beautiful work. Artistically, you know what I mean? Like, it's stunning. It's really gorgeous. Just that Crowley was sort of not a very interested, just like not a person I just want to sort of be associated with, I guess. This is so crooked because my camera's crooked, so hopefully you don't mind too much. Right, all right, I put my microphone on too high again. Well, the first thing I want to say is that sometimes keywords on cards can be quite useful, as ornery as I've been about them, and one of the reasons why is that we have completion and abundance. We have an abundance of completion. This is a very good sign for my client who seems to not want Joey to come back. So that could be the answer to the question. Sometimes it's that easy, folks. But we'll do the whole reading just to see. So, Princess of Discs would be the page of coins or pentacles in most decks. In the Thoth, we get Princess, and we get the Queen and the Knight. The Knight is the King, and Prince is the Knight, sort of. I know that, like, Thoth people are going to be all over me. Folks, listen, just save yourself. If you are a Thoth stan, if you know everything about this deck, save yourself the energy of commenting on what I'm doing wrong, because I honestly have to tell you, I do not care. It's not worth getting your blood pressure up there, okay? I'm not going to read it, and it's not going to enlighten me. So just give yourself a break and enjoy my voice and watching me read. Because I know the Thoth folks, and I know how you are. Don't prove me right. Princess of Discs. So we have the page, essentially. So this is a person who is very curious about where life is going. They are very, very interested in what's available and what's next. And so I'm reading this as Joey. Joey is curious about what life has to offer, and that indicates to me that it is not this relationship. The card below it is the Three of Swords. That may signal that they're not happy the relationship is over, but they're also kind of expanding their horizons about where life could be. So I do not see Todd coming back already. Again, Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands can be... I'm sorry, that's the Four of Wands, rather. Four of Wands, stable, right? Stable, heavy, fire, have a lot of fire. Probably a relationship that they thought would last forever and that they were very, very passionate about and dedicated to, but really are no longer. It's complete, right? Completion on the card. They're interested in giving their moon, their fire rather, their sustained fire, to someone more attractive, the moon. Abundance here, the Three of Cups, suggests that they're actually probably out there playing the field. Three of Cups gives us a certain amount of, like polyamory, for example, right? Or just getting out there and sort of messing around with folks. Paired with the Princess of Cups, the Page of Cups, who is also sort of like, what do I want? What do I want? I don't know. Let's try everything. We also get the Princess of Swords here, so we've definitely got a lot of curiosity on this person's part. And even when they're not actively engaged in experience things, they're thinking about it. The Princess of Swords actually sort of actively moves towards that Three of Cups. So their mind is not on this relationship, or it's on, what's possible. The only card we really haven't talked about is the Empress. Which, it could be my client, in this case, sort of looking at this situation and saying, where are they? But it's also interesting to pair the Princess of Swords with the Empress here. And the Empress is just a fascinating card, because I think we've reduced in modern life the Empress to something sort of small. But that isn't necessarily who she is. It is anyone that you admire who's sort of in their badassery. You know what I mean? So I don't know who's someone in the news right now who's inspiring. Like nobody. I don't know. I used to use Lizzo as an example. So prior to that the things that she was accused of. Again, I don't know what's what there, but I do know that's who I used to use as the Empress. Just someone who's like in their element. At their best, the Empress is in their element, in her element. So Joey, I don't know why I keep saying Todd. Joey is kind of in that space of exploring all of this. This is Joey again, sort of saying, where am I? And, you can read this in multiple ways, which is one reason why I like it. So the Empress is kind of looking at the Four of Wands. Here's where I was, but here's where I could be. And sort of coming around this way. So I was in this long-term situation that was good. It was hot. It was good. But now I'm curious about what I can have and who I can have and what that can feel like. And I'm really, really interested in exploring all of that, right? Exploring what that, makes me think, but also just sort of like I'm kind of obsessed with it. Swords can get obsessed. And I'm, interested in experiencing Princess of Cups, experiencing everything that can happen. The Three of Swords here is expanded perspectives. Even though the card says sorrow on it, that's not that interesting to me here. There may have been grief, there always is when something ends, but, really it's not so much about sorrow here as it is shifting how we think about ourselves. And going through maybe a little bit of darkness, but also a lot of attraction to back to where we are. We're back to the Empress. So we can read it that way. We can also read it the other way. So we can say that the Empress may be somewhat unsure about their mental state anyway, and how they are thinking about where they want to go, but they're definitely drawn to having their perspectives changed. And they're very curious both about how their brain manifests the stuff, but how they feel about all of this stuff being laid before them. There's a lot of opportunity. This person's probably getting the opportunity to get laid a fair amount of time. Yeah, because I think that's where this is. There's no fire in this reading other than the Four of Wands, but they're experimenting. They're experimenting with where they want their life to go, and they're maybe interested in a long-term relationship down the line, but first finding themselves. So no, Todd, I did it again. Joey, I don't know why that name is popping into my head. I have a friend named Todd, but they're not in this situation. So anyway, Joey is not coming back, and he is focused on other things. So, interesting, right? And again, you could I paired them this way at the beginning. You can do that too. You can also use some astrological correspondences too. So the Empress is opposed or in opposition of the Princess of Swords. Oppositions mean that there's a little bit of like a back and forth tug of war between which is most active right now. So they may be sort of tossing back and forth between the Empress and the Page of Swords. So they may be somewhat more ruthless in cutting things out of their lives, but also finding who they are. These two cards are in opposition, the Princess of Discs and Sorrow, so they may be experiencing both a mix of sorrow and curiosity. You could do these oppositions if you wanted to. You could think in terms of like the Princess of Discs squares the Empress and the Princess of Swords, same thing. So you could do all that too if you wanted to. It's interesting. Actually, we're going to do all of that in my next class on, I think, the second week when we look at the horoscope spread. So if you're interested in all that, take my class. Information on my website, which is always in the description below. Hope this was interesting as always. Take care, be good, and we'll talk soon.